Are you listening to this episode on Himalaya? If you are, congratulations, because you're already using the best new podcast app out there. If you're not, well, you're a loser and missing out. So get it together. Whether you're a podcaster or a fan, Himalaya is designed with you in mind and has a ton of cool new features like curated shareable playlists and collections made just for you, along with personalized recommendations to help with content discovery. And the best part is, it's super easy to use. It's definitely my favorite listening app, and I'm sure it will be yours too. So do yourself a favor and download Himalaya today, and be sure to follow my show, Worst Firsts, once you're there. Bye. Guys, welcome back to the Worst First podcast. Yay! I have more than one other. Oh, exactly, right? I know. Congratulations. It's cool. Nina's so into it. That just killed everyone's eardrums. They're all like, Jesus Christ! I got my headphones in. I got my ear pods. I have two amazing guests today who I love and have loved for a very long time, and they've always been so nice to me, even when everyone was giving me shit at times in my life. So I'm so grateful to have these two wonderful, funny ladies here today. We have Miss Grace Helbig and Mamrie Hart.
Yay! Oh my word!
I love
The
that
ultimate
Nina is
duo.
sitting like a pro.
She's a pro. Oh, she'll take over the interview halfway through. She'll be like, "Excuse me, I have some questions."
I'm obsessed with this tiny Barbara Walters.
She's dead. That's who she is.
Truly regal.
She is regal looking, right?
I mean, yeah, now she's looking you
Straight
into
the soul.
She will look right into your soul.
You guys, if we switch bodies halfway through this
I know.
podcast, if I just start barking and then Nina starts like licking her
jokes
own
about vagina.
It's like that weird like Jamie Lee Curtis, Lindsay Lohan movie, except you and my dog.
Yeah.
Freaky
Let's
Friday,
make that.
baby.
I love that. Yeah,
I'm into
I love
it.
that. No, her name, the name of her breed too, is like so. It's like so snobby. She's like an English cream miniature long-haired dachshund.
Oh, pardon me,
Like,
Downton Abbey. Are you late for the premiere?
Right? Like, calm the fuck down. Like, when I got her, the lady was like, she's an English cream.
More
hair,
names.
Short dachshund. I'm like, Jesus
She's a
Christ.
hemophiliac
Yeah.
from years of breeding within our own lineage.
I swear they just like make shit up about these dogs. They're like, it's just purely inbred is what we should call
Oh,
it. Yeah, we
absolutely.
just bred her till she was cute, and who knows what's going on in
You
here.
never know. My friend Beth has like a floof, a total floof dog.
Really?
And she did the 23andMe of dogging. And they were like, she's a pit bull. She was like,
Why does it look like a Cocker Spaniel? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's a waste of money. Don't go waste your
Don't
money on the
do it.
23andMe for dogs. Yeah, no, she's very human, this dog. Like, very
love her.
human, very emotional.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah,
She's already picking up on energies.
Yeah,
Totally.
She's like, y'all can take it down 12 notches. No, I'm so excited to have you guys here. You know the premise of the podcast is just talking about crazy shit that's happened to you. Worst first, the worst shit that's happened to you in your life.
Oh, Lord.
But in a funny way, you know?
Of course.
Like, not like
It's
in a
like it must be
dramatic-
very therapeutic for
It
people to
is.
come in and just sort of.
Sometimes it is, and then sometimes they're like, I wish I didn't recall that.
Yes.
Memory, thanks
Yeah.
for making me remember that.
I feel like that
buried that.
happens every week on Grace and I's podcast because we talk about stuff in real time and then it's like, oh, in
Maybe
retrospect,
that wasn't
maybe I
the
shouldn't have.
you just get
correct way.
emails later. Can you guys delete the whole podcast?
Right.
Like, thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
So you guys wanted to talk about the first time you met.
Well, yeah, Grace and I have known each other, I guess, I always throw out a number, 12 years?
something like that.
That's a
like
long time. That's a child.
2008?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
A
Grown like
tween. That's a full
like
tween.
with an attitude.
Yeah.
Our friendship has an attitude. We're in an angsty phase.
yeah.
No, but we met in New York. We were put on a sketch team together.
You were in New York?
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys started in New York. I
Yeah,
love
we
that.
lived in New York you were there for what?
8 years.
8 years. I was there for
Whoa.
5 and came out here. Totally. Yeah. And we were part of this like a comedy theater that had like kind of put all these random people on a sketch comedy team together.
Wow.
And we were two people dropped out from that team, I think, and then we were the
then,
replacements.
yeah,
We were
for
the
sure.
backups.
They're like, I guess we'll
100%.
take those two fucking weirdos.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, but we went to our first rehearsal and I was super fucking nervous because Grace was doing improv at the theater. I only knew one person and then I was being put on this team and we were, of
damn.
course, rehearsing in the basement of a bar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
that's
just
the high quality
grunge.
improv of everywhere.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
We thought we had made it.
Yeah, absolutely. We get 15% off mozzarella sticks, bitch. Like, We're done.
And we
Oh
might
my
have
God.
asbestos poisoning, but it's worth it.
For sure got
You
some
guys are part of
rashes.
those mesothelioma commercials. Like, hi, I'm Grace. I'm Mamrie. Have you been exposed to mesothelioma? I can't.
Did you rehearse in the basement of the Triple Crown from the years 2007 to 2012? We have a lawsuit that you could win.
Entitled to a
That's your guys'
award.
new commercial. I've seen them everywhere. You guys are killing
My
it.
vaginal
you.
mesh fell out immediately. What is a vaginal mesh,
my
and
God.
why was
What
it like
is it?
such a hot button lawsuit for a minute there?
Wow, I didn't
vaginal
know.
mesh?
I thought that was a drag queen.
I never heard of vaginal mesh.
Sorry, I see a lot of those commercials. That's
I love
like
that. I love that.
it's about vaginal
I
meshes,
gotta look
and I'm
into that.
always confused.
Okay, now I'm going to see them everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, we met there and I was really nervous but of course Grace is nice and everyone was nice. And then they pull out the first sketch that's called Everyone Loves Grace.
I didn't write it. I didn't write it. I didn't.
You
don't
just
remember-
slid it in. I wasn't me. I didn't do it. You
But
slid it
meanwhile,
in there.
I'm there also at the first rehearsal going,
Yes.
no, I don't like this either.
So we start to read through it and it's all of us playing ourselves in this sketch. And the basic premise is that we're at a meeting and everyone's pitching sketches to do. And all the guys are pitching sketches that end up with them making out with Grace.
Yeah.
And every time I try to speak, they tell me to shut up.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
This is both of our first time on this team that's already been together. And we're both like, the
Hi, it's
fuck?
nice
Like,
to
so
meet you.
yeah, Mamrie's like, everyone hates me and everyone wants to fuck you. So this is like
Literally,
a weird.
the sketch is called Everyone Loves Grace, in parentheses, everyone hates Mamrie.
Was it really?
Yes, and that's the first sketch we read.
Oh my God.
And so it's just people being like, yeah, I was thinking we could do a sketch where like I play a robot who needs mouth to mouth, and then Grace, and then every time I open my mouth, they're just like, not now,
Yeah,
Mamrie.
they're like, shut up, God. Oh my God.
I remember, I don't know if you remember this, at the end of the sketch, you pitch one, and you go, I have an idea, and the premise is just Oprah farts, and they're like, we love it.
yeah, it was the dumbest idea to the point that it made me seem like I was handicapped in some way.
They're like, I don't want to make out with her anymore. Can we change?
I mean, but if that's not a perfect representation of comedy for women in 2008, it's
Yes.
like, how do we make out with you? And then you act dumb and we'll act like we love it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Exactly,
And the dumber you are, the better.
100. Well, you know, from Vine.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, fuck, no wonder that. And now TikTok.
Are you on TikTok?
Okay, I have 400,000 followers on TikTok.
Stop it.
And I can't get into my profile. And I wrote to them and I wrote to all these people because I have like 4 TikToks on there. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll play around on it again. They will not get back to me.
I know the head of TikTok.
You do?
And she's
It's
not
my
joking.
ex-agent's wife.
Okay, you need to get. I need to get her info because I'm
never
like
thought
I
I'd say
can't get
that
into my
sentence.
freaking profile. I'm like I mean I shouldn't probably be involved, but
I've been blocked out of Postmates for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy's having problems with that too.
Okay, well, if he finds out who the wife is that is running Postmates,
Johnny
let me
Postmates.
Does
know.
anyone know who the wife of Mrs. Postmates is?
Yeah.
Yeah, do we
Right?
know who she is?
I know, you got to Uber Eats. It's sad. It's a sad scene.
Tommy goes to place orders on there, and they're like, "Nope, sorry, denied." I'm like, "What did you do? Try to
Yeah.
finger the Postmates guy? Like you're like a predator on Postmates."
I feel like, have you ever ordered Postmates when you're drunk, gone to sleep, they show up, you don't answer the door? Because I feel like that can be a way you
have
get
you
blocked.
done that?
I have not
I mean,
done that.
I've not done that in a solid decade when before there were apps
Last
when you had to
week.
like call and
Yeah.
order it. But
Yeah.
that's a
No,
way to get blocked.
I haven't done that. No, it was just that I ordered way too much Postmates at a period in my life, and then my credit card company asked me about some potential
They thought it was
fraudulent
fraud?
purchases, and I didn't know what they were.
They're
'cause
like,
they
"Did you
didn't-
order this
but
tampons
they-
and tequila at 3 a.m.
They
on
didn't come
Tuesday?"
up
Literally her
as
order.
Postmates. They didn't come up as Postmates, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't have no idea. Like genuinely, I have no idea." And then in hindsight, I was like, "Those were all my Postmates orders," and so now I've been locked out of the app for like 3 years.
They're like, "Just cut her off. Just cut her off." At the
Absolutely.
We know
Absolutely.
this game.
Wait, so you guys did that sketch? You ended up doing that? Everyone
did
Loves
the
Grace
sketch.
Yeah,
How
I
did
think
it
it ended
do?
with Mamrie under a table, coming out from the tablecloth and going like, "What about me, guys?" And people be like, "Shoo, Mamrie!"
like, truly, this was like, hey, it's nice to meet everyone. So who wrote this sketch without ever having met me?
Oh,
It was
my
insane.
God.
We
It
got
was
our vengeance.
yeah, we did that.
We left.
Did a lot of people show up to these shows?
No, we
No.
would be more
Begging.
people on stage than actual audience members.
Yeah.
I remember there was a point where all of us had to sit, many points where all of us had to sit in the audience because
If
that
you
would
weren't in
even
the
out.
sketch, if you weren't in the sketch, you went and sat in the audience.
Yeah, it was an average of like 5 to 30 people.
Well,
I
30
think.
would be our opening night.
Yeah. Yeah, with all of our friends and family doing favors.
And it was just all your friends and family. It wasn't like
Absolutely.
some random people like, this group is great. Has gotten the word on the town.
No.
What was the name of it again?
Finger.
There was, oh my God.
It was
There
the
was
word
finger?
finger. It was the word finger with an umlaut.
We thought it was very funny for the way children pronounce the word finger.
You're
So
like
they
going up to
fingle.
families on the street. Hey, you
Hey,
want to
wanna
come
get
say finger?
Yeah.
Want to get
Finger?
fingered?
Come get fingered. People, and they're like, my son is 4. Please get away
thought
from
it
us.
was
Totally.
great. There were so many ridiculous sketches. Yeah, Mamrie and I's first sketch that we ever did together was called Party Starters.
Yep.
Was that what it was?
We played Mitts and Fits.
Yeah.
And we were like those girls that get hired to start parties. So the first one's pretty normal. But then the next one, we're in an elevator. And the next one, we're at a funeral.
We're
it was
starting
just some
parties
top
everywhere.
comedy.
Time to start party.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
God.
Look, see, she's coming over.
Your dog is coming over.
That's what
I'm
Caesar
obsessed.
Milan taught me, that he's like, if you ignore the dog, they will come to you, and then you reward their curiosity by being nice. He's like,
That's what-
don't make eye contact with
That's
them.
That's what Chip says. Treat them mean, keep them keen.
Right? I got to be meaner to my husband. Jesus Christ. I love it. Treat them mean, keep
Keep
them
them keen. I was like, treat them nice. They're there for life. Like, I'm always
I
like
know.
the angel to the devil.
And then you
on
realize
the
later
shoulder.
how nice and life don't rhyme, and you're like, wow,
Yeah, and
that
I was
didn't
like,
work out. Yeah.
You didn't
I
notice.
tried.
You didn't notice.
That's crazy. Okay, so you guys did all these sketches, and then you were in New York City, and then what happened? You both decided to come to here together, L.A.
No,
No,
pretty.
the sketch team kind of dissolved eventually. I think the
Shocking. I
theater
know.
realized that we weren't bringing in the bucks for them.
Finger didn't make it.
I know.
Wow.
Our
Make
dreams
it.
of SNL, like celebritydom, went down the tubes, and then like a year later or so, we realized
Oh,
that we lived
yeah.
together, or not together,
We
but
realized, hey, you're my roommate. That's
This is
crazy.
worst first roommate.
yeah,
I was just in the
this is
closet.
the pilot that we're
I was
pitching right
still
now.
under the sheet.
Oh my God.
Here.
You've been living together for 4 years. She just realizes
yeah.
it.
I was like,
Totally.
oh, someone's been paying half of the rent. I had no idea.
No clue. Sugar dads.
That we lived close to each other in Brooklyn, and that both of us had non-traditional jobs. I guess at that, like
What were
basically
your
we.
jobs?
I was a bartender.
I
Oh,
was
that's cool.
making web videos for this comedy and
Pornhub.
music.
Oh.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I would have
Yeah.
had much better money stored.
I wish I could have been a stream cam girl.
Dude, those girls make bank.
But like the ones that they just want to like watch you live. You know,
Right.
I'm not gonna like put my
Mukbang?
cooter up there, but yeah, I'd mukbang.
I know
That's what
a
Twitch
couple
is
girls
for.
who do it, who are, but they, you know, they masturbate and stuff on the camera, but they
Okay.
make like $500 a day.
Mm-hmm.
If you got
Only
like a cute
500?
little body, I mean, for working 2 hours,
Oh, that's
they don't work all
true.
day.
That's
They'll work
true.
for like 2 hours and make $500 and be like, whatever.
And now
Is
I'm
there like a? Do you have to diddle your skittle a certain amount of times per week?
I mean, I think the more you diddle, the more money you make. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's-
Like you gotta
that's the
diddle to get
algorithm
the
for that.
yeah. That's like
Likes,
the
monies.
more coins. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like Sonic the Hedgehog. You just gotta.
You
yeah,
guys, that
it's
movie
kinda
looks so
crazy.
bad. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Oh boy, Jesus.
Wait, so what are some of the other first people have told you about?
just crazy shit? Just anything crazy that's happened. I mean, you guys lived in New York City. I'm sure you've seen some insane stuff. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
crazy.
I feel like it's all been pushed deep down because
You're right.
you see insane stuff all the time,
what about the
constantly.
first
What about a
repression?
really bad date?
a really bad date.
Either of you have been on where you were just like, get me the fuck out of here.
Oh God.
Well, I
know
always,
you've been
I'm
on bad
really
dates.
good at going on a date and then just making them my boyfriend.
yeah. I think we're both serial
And getting
monogamous
married.
daters.
Getting
and we're,
married after the first date.
I mean, truly.
Yeah, I don't think either one of us have done.
You've
like,
never
the
had a date
dating.
where you were on a date with a guy and you were like, this guy is whack.
No, I don't date.
Yeah,
Isn't
no,
that
that's
sad?
Because it's usually, I don't put myself out there in that, like, I'm going to meet a stranger tonight and see what happens.
However, okay,
which
no.
makes us probably the weirdos in this
The
situation.
first time I brought someone home in New York. Oh God. Okay, I should have known this was gonna be bad. So they had like
We love it.
they had like a zombie crawl. You know, like before SantaCon, there was like ZombieCon or
Oh,
something
yeah,
like
I'm
that.
not even,
like a
I
bar
don't even
crawl.
know about these things.
So it's like a bar crawl, but you're all dressed as
Everyone's
zombies.
dressed as zombies. So I was
wow.
as myself, an adorable girl, but with like a bullet hole in the middle of my head, you know?
right. Yeah.
2005. And I brought a guy home that night, which I should have known, like, he's into this bullet hole.
Yeah. He's like loving it. He's like
Not
fantasizing.
the best. This was also when I moved to New York and I had zero fucking money. And so the first like 2 months I lived there, I had a duffel bag of clothes and I brought a an air mattress and I had a hole in it. So literally my sleeping arrangements was an air mattress like folded in half.
Stop.
And I still brought someone
you
home.
slept on it on the
and
floor?
I still brought someone home. like from Manhattan to Brooklyn. So this guy was thirsty.
He was dedicated, and also you had a home, so that's impressive enough.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
And so then you met him on the zombie crawl.
On the zombie crawl in the East Village, and then we went all the way back to my neighborhood in Brooklyn to my folded up air mattress.
Oh my God.
Right? We didn't like seal the deal, but we mess around. I don't know if I left the bullet hole on or not.
Oh my God. He's like, do you have any more you can put on?
Truly.
Yeah.
Maybe some in the torso.
Yeah.
I could go get my shotgun if you want. Oh my gosh.
So the next morning I was like, oh, here we go. And I had to go to work in Manhattan. And there's nothing worse than when you have like a hookup or something and then they're like, oh, I'm going that way. Why don't we just go? Like, I want to pretend this never happened. Not like have a 45-minute commute on a subway with you.
And you didn't like him, right? You woke up the next day and were like,
he was like cute. He was like edgy, kind of punk.
Yeah.
And then we got on the train to go to Manhattan, and it's like, oh, this is awkward, and like, can everyone notice that we're like walk of shaming together?
Did you guys still have your zombie shit on? Or
no, I washed my face. I washed my face.
But still, for New Yorkers, that seemed totally normal if you did.
Yeah.
I washed my face, and then I realized like I didn't know this person's name at all, right?
You didn't remember his name?
I didn't remember his name. I was wasted face.
That's
I was
fair.
wasted face. And so he said something about my name and I pronounced it, and I was like, yo, where does your name come from? And he was like, oh, I just changed it.
He's like, it's Greg.
Yeah.
It's Spider.
No. I just changed it. It's Spider.
His name was Spider.
And you couldn't remember that from the night before?
No.
Spider.
I met him in a loud bar, so I was trying to be like, oh, cool, Steve.
Yeah. Sounds great, Sean. My place is down the street.
Oh, my God. Yeah, so Spider, who is into bullet holes.
Wow.
Spider.
Where is Spider now?
What is he doing?
He tried to like stick his wiener in your bullet hole. You're like, oh, it's not real. Can
Granddaddy
we
long.
back up? Yeah, back up, dude. Okay, that's a weird one.
Yeah.
That's really fucking weird.
So that's not like a first date, but it was definitely like the first time I hooked up with someone in New York and then was like,
With a
I need
bullet
to be
hole in
more
your head.
careful.
Yeah.
My
Just
first-
let
We're
him
not
to
in
your
North
house.
Carolina anymore.
I know. Yeah, that's how we think. We think it's okay to just let people come home with us, but it's very
crazy.
scary. Yeah. You
It's
lived by
nuts.
yourself too, didn't you? Or no?
No, in New York, I lived with a couple roommates.
Okay, you're like
Yeah.
7 people.
Yeah.
So if
To live in
anything
a
happened,
house.
I had backup, but still.
Exactly.
That's still scary. I don't like that.
I don't like it
And
one
meanwhile,
bit.
Grace is like, the wheels are spinning. She's
I'm
like,
like,
I don't
what?
think I've ever had a bad
No, the
date.
only one I think about is the one in Ireland. That was like the worst morning after situation.
Oh, God.
You hooked up with an Irish dude?
Yeah, Mamrie wrote about it in her book. But yeah, we were both single at the same time. Went on
Which is like
Never
truly like a
happened.
harvest moon during
Because
an
you both
eclipse.
seem like you
during a-
always have boyfriends.
We're very long-term boyfriend,
Yes.
like commitment people, and so
Yes.
it was very rare that both of us at that same time were like, "Let's
It was
fucking
crazy.
do it."
Like it was the first time I was single in 10 years.
yeah,
Wow.
So I was like ready to rock.
and I don't
Your
need it.
vagina was like, let's rock.
total
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I could hear it just screaming out loud.
Let's go to fucking Europe.
I like Irish boys. Oh my God.
We were doing some shows in the UK.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
You guys go to the UK and do shows.
It was super, super fun. And we went most of it because we were single and bored and didn't want to go home for Thanksgiving.
We were single bored, didn't want to go home for Thanksgiving. Trump just got elected.
Oh,
So
you're
we
like,
were
we're
like,
getting the
let's
fuck out of
go.
the country.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
yeah.
a lot of
Absolutely.
factors. And then we went and did shows in London and Dublin. And our last show in Dublin, we had done shows there before, and I didn't go out like the night when we did shows there before. So Mamrie was like, "Come out this time.
We're
And
going out.
Yeah.
There's a bar next to the hotel that's really cool." And so I was like, "Okay, I'll come have like a beer, and we'll like go to bed early
beer.
because we have to get on the plane in the morning."
Like someone was picking us up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
And so then we get there and we realize there's lots of like
Colin Farrell types sitting around.
They look
Hey,
like
my gosh, my lady. Can I get you a beer, my lady?
but that's what they look
You just
like.
lost all your Irish listeners.
Horrible. Horrible. Oh, my
Really.
Irish audience just unsubscribed, blocked, reported.
Totally.
Yeah.
Email TikTok.
Yeah,
Said, don't let her back
don't
in.
let her back in. Fuck her. I hate her guts. Yeah.
They all looked like that in the haze that was probably
The 4 Corona lights.
yeah.
Yes.
Just we were going nuts, and then
But there were two boys who were hitting on us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There
What were they? And
there
they
were two men who were hitting on us who were like, basically we talked to them. They were like, we're in investing. We work for like, it was like, let's say Dutch Bank or whatever. They're in business for one night and we're talking and we're like buying shots and having a good time. And this girl across the way is like giving an evil look.
Scowls.
And then they're like, oh, that's one of our like coworkers.
Yeah.
We're going to go say hey to her. And then he comes back and they're like, oh, they're so boring, like all this stuff. And then he says something and it tips me off and I go, wait, where'd you say you work again? And he says a different bank.
Yeah. And Mamrie clocked it immediately.
And they were
I
lying.
clocked it immediately and I went, you guys are completely full of shit.
You guys are fucking goat herders. Don't lie to us.
And we just bought you guys shots.
Now, meanwhile, the whole time there's been this really hot bartender that's been serving us.
You're giving him a lot of credit.
Okay, well, in the face of the night, at 18 Guinnesses in, who's been like, okay, girl, like kind of like smiling at Grace and like watching the scene and then fucking loved it when I was like, you guys are totally full of shit, like blah, blah. Yeah. And they didn't even try to deny it. They just looked at each other and they were like, well, we're caught.
Fully caught. And
what did they do for a living?
They were just like idiots.
They were dumb. Like they probably did something similar, but for some reason they tried to like
they were
make
like, we're
it sound
investment
cooler.
bankers here for
They're
one
probably
night.
interns at some
Bank
company.
of America. They were like, starting day. This is our trip.
They just got their first
International
debit
Bank of
card.
America
So
trip.
they were
Yeah.
like, we're investing.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then
the bartender kept giving us like free drinks after that to be like, you guys have been through it. I'm watching this happen. This is very funny. So now we're all in it with each other, like on understanding how ridiculous this is.
Also, I went up to the girls that he was talking shit about and said, oh, by the way, he said all of you are boring.
What did they do?
They were like, thank you.
They were like,
thank you for letting us know.
We are boring. We know. Dead.
So nuts. So then the bartender seemed really cool, and by the end of the night, he came back to my room.
No. He left mid-shift.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he
He quit his job to fuck you. He's like, I'm out of here. It's only time I'm getting American pussy.
I'm getting lucky.
Dead.
Yeah, he asked his boss if it was okay to leave, and meanwhile we're also like telling his boss, you should let him leave.
Oh
You should
my
let him.
God.
So then he leaves, and then I look at the boss and I go, you want to come with me? And then the boss left, and like there was no one there operating the bar. They said to the bar back, they were like,
This is like the biggest riot in Ireland, all because of you guys. Like the bar got closed down. There was a fucking riot.
The bar stayed open. I think it's just like, you know.
They were, but they just both
Free
peaced
beer
out.
for everybody that
Yeah.
night
Both
because of you.
peaced out.
They
Oh
peaced
my
out.
God.
Yeah, then he came
Did
over.
that guy fall in love with you or something?
No, here's what happened.
I was
The
like,
my
peace out,
God.
dude. We
Yeah.
made out. Get out of here.
Yeah, so I wake up and I wake up like on time with text from Mamrie being like, I'll meet you downstairs in the lobby. And meanwhile, this guy won't leave. I'm giving like all of the hints of like, I'm packing up my stuff. Like, it's time to go.
You're all making the bed with him in it. You're like,
Yeah.
gotta
And he's
gotta get these pillows fluffed.
exactly.
Put him on the room service tray. And
Yeah. No, this goes outside the door. So if you just want to,
And he starts
Close.
Yeah.
he starts asking me about like what I do in the US, and I should have been like the guys at the bar the night before. I should have made up something, but I was like, I do comedy. And then he started to tell me how much he's a fan of Kevin Hart. And then he starts doing for 15 minutes nonstop Kevin Hart impressions while I'm
Irish
packing,
Kevin Hart impression.
while I'm packing up my bag and being like, oh my fucking God, I'm still drunk from last night. So I'm like, I'm not going to be rude. Like,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But he's laying in the bed, like with no
he in a
shirt
robe?
on,
Oh, okay.
just like doing his own Kevin Hart, like full stand up bit. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, I've never seen his stand up. I can't, he wouldn't stop doing it.
He's like, no, but just imagine it.
Grace is
oh my
rolling up her
God.
clothes. He's taking a full curly Sue bubble bath. Like,
I'm like opening the window and throwing a ladder down and like climbing out.
meanwhile, he's like, and did you see the one with the rock? Oh, that was a fine one.
Oh, he was obsessed with him. Meanwhile, this is
I
a like
cannot.
6'3" Irish kid, like couldn't be more
Stop.
Irish, doing like 4'8" Kevin
Kevin
Hart
Hart, black
impressions.
Kevin Hart. Oh my God, I
It was
can't.
so insane. Then finally he leaves, and I was like, "You have to leave first because my friend is going to
Oh,
to be in the lobby. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to walk out together
Yeah.
with you."
Also, like, I don't want you to stay here and bring up the charges.
Yeah. So what do we owe you?
Like
Debt. Oh my God.
clinging situation. And then he finally left. And then I go into the lobby and I just see Mamrie slumped over, like full hat on,
Sunglasses.
Literally, like she's
Totally.
a private investigator, like waiting for someone to come out.
We got to the airport and I had to get us at 7 a.m.
Yeah, I just looked at her. I was like, he just did 15 minutes of Kevin Hart. I'll talk to you about it in the taxi.
I'm like, there's only one heart in your life, girl.
yeah.
My
We knew
God.
that was going to be a crazy trip, though. We should have, because we landed, got picked up at the airport.
Oh, and someone spit on our car.
Well, what happened is we were
When you guys were leaving?
we were like
when
walking
we
to the car.
landed
We were
in
like,
Dublin.
oh, Ireland, that'll be great. Like this will be cute. These drunk guys get off the plane because it's Ireland, so everyone was drunk at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Get off the plane. Grace has on like a knit hat with a little like
Puffy,
puffy
yeah,
pom pom, and he comes over and he just touches it.
He just grabs it.
And I said, don't touch her.
Yeah, what the hell?
I said, don't touch her, and they like laughed it off, kept going. So then
And they're like fumbling down, like holding each other up drunk at 8 a.m. Like I've been drunk in an airport at 8 a.m., but I don't know if I've been like.
or like
Yeah.
going to my not going to my
and
car
they
to
went
drive
to, like,
it.
a car. We don't know if it was their friend's car or one of their cars. It was.
But
so
then
weird.
as we were leaving, one of them rolled down the window, stuck his head out, and hocked a loogie at us. We were like,
what the hell?
we were like, welcome to Ireland. We've been here 5 minutes.
on the window of the car service that we were in to go to the hotel.
And the driver's
yeah.
like, what's the matter? You didn't let him touch your pom-pom? Like, he's like,
Literally,
totally,
the
yeah.
driver goes, welcome to Ireland.
Oh my gosh.
It was kind of the most like warm welcome I think that Ireland could have given.
But can I just tell you guys,
a,
like,
a weekend of fluids.
I
you
love,
know?
but how cool is it that you can go to Ireland and do a show and you have tons
So
of fans
cool.
there,
It
right?
was really fun.
I
We
can
want to
barely
go
do a
back
show
with our
in
podcast.
Burbank.
No, you just did your first live show.
Yeah, there was
How
like
did it go?
40 people.
Heck
maybe.
yeah, but in Los
Maybe.
Angeles is the hardest
You can't.
place.
We never perform
That's why we
here.
go overseas.
Oh,
We
because
never
everyone in LA is
perform.
too cool.
Yeah.
It's just
Okay.
hard.
And they just, you have shit you could do every night. So it's
Yeah.
like you need to go somewhere where they're desperate
There's
for
no
Where they
one.
don't-
entertainment.
Yeah, where they don't normally have. Like, when else will
I
you
need to
be
go
out
to-
in
Where they're like,
Nebraska?
Burt Bacharach came here in 81 and you're the first. Why am I still Irish?
I need to go to Antarctica. I need to be
Yes.
like, hey guys, I'm doing a full Antarctica tour.
I would love it.
I'll perform on
100%.
Glacier number 7.
Ooh,
They would love it. It would sell out
Cold as
immediately.
drinks.
That's so rad that you guys do that.
It is
You guys are
fun.
inspiring.
We just did a tour. We just finished one.
Yeah, we just finished a mini tour.
I saw you did it. Was
around
it
the US.
This might get?
Yeah,
was
This
it-
Might Get Weird.
Yeah, this might
It
get
was
weird.
really
tour.
fun.
It was super fun. We had our first proposal on stage.
Yeah, we
What?
helped someone get
tried to marry
proposed.
you guys?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's been happening.
That would be
wasn't the first
unbelievable,
time.
Both of
Brittany.
you at the same time. Listen, I need you both to be my wives.
Yeah, exactly. No, we helped a couple. They like
They got married at your
slid into
show.
the DMs,
Yeah.
and he was like, "I want to propose to my boyfriend of 8 years. Will you help me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll help 2 guys get engaged in Dallas, Texas." Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah, so
but
we
also
pulled it
so
off.
nerve wracking because we didn't meet them before the show. We didn't have like any other real plans other than the ones that we like made over a DM before
Right,
the show
right.
started. And we're just like hoping, 1, that they were legit, and 2, that like we wouldn't fuck it up for
Or the
them.
guy doesn't say no, and then that's just
Right.
like a weird
100%.
fucking show. Well, this might
thanks for
get weird. It's
coming.
just got really weird. Yeah.
Totally.
The guy's like, I don't want to marry you, Steve. We fucked twice. You're
Right.
like, oh God, this is horrible.
Totally.
This has all been a bit.
Wow. Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's
it was so
amazing. So it
fun.
went off without a hitch?
Well, and hopefully it will get hitched.
Yeah, I mean, it was great that he said yes.
I might officiate.
Yeah.
We'll
really?
see.
It was real sweet. I can't believe we kept it a secret the whole show. I was losing my mind about it the whole time. And
You're
just
just like, they're getting married.
yeah, he's gonna propose to you.
Yeah. Just screaming. I freaked her out. She had a panic
woke
attack.
the
It's
fuck
okay.
up.
It's okay.
like,
Don't
what?
worry.
Why?
Mommy spazzes. You know this. You're used to- Okay,
used to it.
guys, we're taking a really quick break, and then we are going to be back with Grace Helbig and Mamrie Hart. Stay tuned. Okay. I'm freaking out. You guys, this is the most genius idea I think I'd ever heard of, and not to mention how fabulous this product is. Okay, so obviously we use a lot of plastic in America, and a lot of people drink out of plastic water bottles. And like, what happens to those water bottles after we throw them away? Well, this company called Rothy's decided to take the recycled plastic water bottles and make freaking shoes out of them, okay? And I know that sounds crazy and you're probably imagining the most insane looking shoe in your head right now, but listen to me for a second. Imagine the most comfortable,
adorable looking shoes you've ever seen that are machine washable, really, really, really well made. And I can't stress the comfortable factor enough. And they're made out of plastic water bottles, you guys. And they're super lightweight. Okay, so listen. You need to go to rothys.com. That's rothys.com/worst and check out these shoes. You cannot just take my word for it, okay? I ordered the pointed toe flats in the color flame, and they are the cutest freaking shoes. I'm obsessed with them. They have men's shoes. They have women's shoes. They have a bunch of different styles, a bunch of different patterns for you to choose from. You can throw them in your bag. Like if you're a girl that lives in New York City and you need like a comfortable pair of shoes to walk around in, you can throw these in your bag. They're super lightweight. And I'm telling you, the coolest thing is that they're made out of recycled water bottles. So it's like sustainable. Come on. That's so amazing. It's such a good thing to do. They've already diverted over 35 million water bottles from landfills. Like, how rad is that? Imagine if more companies did this, our plastic problem would go down so much. Anyway, I can't stress this enough, how amazing these shoes are, but don't just take my word for it. You have to see what they look like, because I know in your head you're imagining something crazy. So just go to rothys.com, rothys.com/worst, WORST, and go check these amazing shoes out.
We are back with Grace Helbig, Mamrie Hart, telling me crazy stories. They were like, we have no stories. And then they had 72 stories about Ireland getting spit on, first night stands. You guys are going to love this. This is amazing.
Oh, my gosh.
And so I had a question for you guys. Did you guys ever audition for SNL?
Grace did.
You did?
I did.
How did that go?
Not well.
Dead. Did you do it?
I did it in New York when I was living there. And it was like in 2010, 11, something like that.
Right.
And I think it was when my YouTube stuff started like getting a little bit bigger and Lonely Island was leaving the show. So I think they were trying to bring in people that had any sort of digital presence.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do impressions.
Okay.
I did one terrible Taylor Swift impression.
I love that.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And so I had to make a tape for them. And then they're like, okay, here are our notes on your tape. We want you to do Taylor Swift, this other character, and then you have 3 minutes to fill. And
so
it's the
nerve-wracking.
most insane thing ever. But in hindsight, I am so glad I didn't get it, because that whole world seems so
Dude, gnarly.
heartbreaking, like,
And like intense.
my emotional state could not have survived that place. I
You-
would have been destroyed.
It would have broke you.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been pursuing entertainment after that. I think it would have really
Pursuing sanity.
permanently.
Then like I would have been pursuing a Prozac
Right,
prescription.
exactly.
I'm gonna go home and be a second grade teacher, and that's safe enough for me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it
so
was
did
so
you
intense.
get to Lorne? Did you do it
Yeah,
in front
I
of Lorne?
did it's like they don't give you, I don't know how it still works, but when I did it, they give you hardly any information. But my managers had enough clients that had done the audition before,
Yeah.
so they're like, here's what we know.
Yeah.
You could be there for a half hour, you could be there for 8 hours, so just be
wait.
prepared.
8 hours?
Yeah.
Just waiting to
Just
go and
waiting.
audition, like
I could
shitting your brains
never
out.
wait 8 hours.
No, and so they put you in one of the dressing rooms, and there's no cell phone service in the dressing room, so you can't even like talk to your friends or family or look at anything on the internet that's distracting. And I remember I had no music on my iPhone at the time other than Adele, and so I listened to Rolling in the Deep on repeat,
What? To
in the dressing
psych
room.
you up?
That was the only song I had that was semi not as sad as the rest of the songs on Adele's album.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so you just sit in a green room and you can hear everyone else around you being led into their
I
green
hate
rooms.
that.
But you can't at least I found out from other people that have done it that they just walked around freely, but I'm so play by the rules.
Same.
I don't want to do
We
something
also don't want to be
wrong.
waiting and they come to get you and you're not
Not
there.
there.
And
Yeah,
you're like, well, this
yeah,
bitch is
yeah.
unprofessional. She can't be on
Right.
live television.
So I just fully sat in this tiny it felt like 10 feet by 10 feet little room for a couple hours, and then I got a knock at the door that was like, okay, we're bringing you down to hair and makeup, and then you go on stage, on the actual stage, and they say go, and you have 5 minutes in front of these backlit 12 people
And you
in
can't
the room.
see anybody.
You can't see anyone's face. And I was warned like many times that they don't make any noise. They don't laugh.
They don't laugh or anything, even if you're good. Yeah,
if you get
I
a
heard that.
guffaw, like you're amazing. I like blacked out. Like I don't remember anything about it other than being so nervous.
Dude, I hate that.
It's the worst.
Do you
I mean,
get like your
been-
heart's like beating and pounding and you're like
and
spiraling?
you've been to a million auditions. Like it's the worst, especially when
still, to this day.
Yeah, like as soon as I started, I was like, I'm not the right person for this. I'm doing this because this is like such an honor and very cool. But I already know that like I should not be the one doing this.
Yeah.
Like there are so many other people in New York and like everywhere else that like this is their bread and butter. Like this is hone their like their characters and stuff like that, and that's just not. I felt like a fraud being there. I was like,
I feel that way every day in my life. Like
the
I don't
imposter
belong
syndrome
here.
is like
Yeah.
unbelievable. Yeah,
Yeah.
but at that point I was like, I just want to go home and internet. That's all I want to do right
Yes.
now. I don't want to do this. I actually don't want to do this. I hope someone else here that really wants to do this gets this. But then they put you back in your room for another like hour or so while you wait for everyone, and then you just hear these knocks on all the doors down the hallway, and like everyone's let out of their green room and everyone's kind of looking
see who's
around.
auditioned?
I don't even remember. It was such a haze. I just remember that we all walked to the elevator and I didn't recognize anyone that was auditioning, so I think everyone was flown in from out of town.
Yeah.
And it was just Seth Meyers standing at the elevator giving everyone a handshake, thanking them so much for coming and doing this, and he knows how hard it is. And I was like, this is the most like gentleman, high quality
I love
character
him.
thing. Yeah, that
I love him. Have you? So other than that, you've met him. He's cool. He seems cool.
I've never met him other than that moment.
Yeah.
And it was so one of those like things that you remember. They're like, you're a good dude. This is a very cool
Yes.
thing. You don't have to do this right now, but you've been through this process, and so it's very cool that you're actually saying to all these nervous like
Yes.
early 20-somethings that they're doing a great job. It was really encouraging.
Wow.
It was really sweet.
Do you audition much? Do you get
You
nervous?
know what? Well, recently, yes, because I was on a higher dose of a medication that kind of kept me calm, and then I recently was like, you know what? I don't want to be on fucking drugs my whole life, and I lowered myself down to a very small amount, which is not enough. My brain's like, we need more serotonin, and so my brain now I spaz very easily. I have anxiety very easily, so I do audition and I go in there and I do well, but I am not present.
No,
in my brain.
It's a
Not even
dream.
close.
That I have to go, if I ever book anything, it's like, I auditioned for that? I don't even remember.
Truly.
Like, do you ever feel like you just leave your body?
Yeah,
and your body's
100%.
just like, and you're like doing all the things that you're supposed to do, but you're not there.
Oh, 100%. That happens to me when I'm walking, and I'm like, can you believe these legs are just doing that?
Yeah.
How are they still going?
How am I allowed to have a car?
That's
It
the
blows
weird
my
thing,
mind.
isn't it?
That's the worst in
I
a car when
know.
you're like, so this is a death machine
know,
that I'm in
driving.
charge of at 70 miles per hour.
I get freaked out when I'm driving too. a
Yeah.
lot. I got freaked out driving here. I tried some new vitamin this morning called Adrenaplex.
Ooh, what does
As they
that
gave
do?
me at Bristol Farms because I'm tired all the time. It's like the anxiety, whatever, tiring.
Yeah.
So I go to see this girl at Bristol Farms, and she's like, I treat her like she's a psychiatrist, and she's literally got 4 nose piercings, purple hair, and I'm like, what do you suggest? Like the
Yeah.
last person
Yeah.
I should be asking. So she's like, oh, there's this stuff called Adrenaplex that people seem to really like. Like this is how she talks, and she's like, yeah, like I take 2 of these a day, and like I make it through my day without coffee or anything because I'm like real sensitive to coffee, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, oh, me
I
too.
love this.
So I try this thing, and it has all kinds of weird shit in it. It's like DHEA and L-tyrosine and all kinds of weird things that are supposed to like make you feel good. But I definitely feel like I'm not in my body right now. So I'm just like,
Let's put you under hot lights.
I'm interviewing you guys, but I'm sitting in the corner
sure.
over there, just being like,
Uh-huh.
Look at her
I'm
go.
watching. Yeah, she's doing great. Isn't that weird though?
Yeah.
I fucking hate auditioning, and I feel like
Hate
I
it so
never
much.
book anything anyway.
I
Same.
haven't booked anything in like 6 years,
Yeah.
7 years, which sucks too because it was the first audition I went out for in LA. I booked.
That's awesome.
It was like a guest star on Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23.
That's
That was my
great.
first audition.
Forgot about that.
and
yeah.
then I haven't booked anything since.
So like what a
literally
weird
haven't.
tease. Yeah.
But you
being
guys
like,
have been so successful. I mean, you had your show on E,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
you just even booking like fucking guest star on a show is rad. Like that's amazing.
Yeah,
you know.
I've kind of reserved myself to like I'm only gonna get to act if I write it myself.
Yeah.
You know, one of those.
It's-
'Cause
I
I'm
know.
just
I
so
don't know
bad
why
at it.
though, because it's like you guys are so talented, and I look at you and I'm like, you know, I don't get why Ryan Murphy or somebody doesn't just call bring, hello.
Do you
Like,
know
I've
him?
seen their stuff. I wish I did.
However, I will tell you, one thing that does help with auditions is I have an audition coach that she would love.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've only been like 3 times, but he has dogs, cats, a pig, macaws,
I'd get nothing done.
and a possum.
I'd be like, okay, let me pet all the animals
And a possum named
fuck the
Celine
audition.
Dion.
Stop.
Yes.
It's bonkers.
I will go in there and we'll rehearse the lines, and he'll have like the French doors closed, and a pig, Penelope, will bust through.
Stop.
And so he says, he's like, if you cannot
handle
be
this,
distracted
yeah.
by a 200-pound pig busting in here,
Then you can handle.
then you can do any audition.
You can
room.
handle any producer in a room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Has he changed it for you? Like, has he changed the game for you? Like,
No, I've only done it a couple times. I do it so inconsistently.
Same.
It's like
Yeah, I'm pretty
you're
inconsistent.
never going to be
Yeah.
good at a sport if you play it 3 times a year.
I mean,
you know?
I've done all the classes and I've done all of this and that. I've spent so much money, and I'm like, you know what? At this point, like, I know I'm okay. I've filmed myself enough. I've showed my agents. They're like, you're great. You know, nothing to do. So it's like, you know, I don't know. I sometimes feel like it's like you're too known. You know what I mean? Like people like
for being
as yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have a friend who's a director, and I was like, you know, I don't get it. Like, why don't we, like, I get cast and stuff, and he goes, well, because people will be watching it and they'll go, oh, that's Brittany Furlan. Like, you know, instead of going like, oh, that's the character.
Right, and it's a weird compliment in a
But
way.
yeah.
Because you're like, but I still want to be cast, and so that my efforts don't go to waste.
Exactly. It's like,
But
okay.
But even like we were talking about a movie the other day that I saw that was about a talking hedgehog starring Dean Cain and Tara Reid. And I'm like, I'll be in that.
Like, I will take fucking anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a PSA
Yes.
to anyone that thinks we're too big for their project.
We
to
will
reach
play
out.
We will do
hedgehogs,
it.
okay?
I wanted to start, and I still think we should. I want to start a petition online
Okay.
for me to be in a Lifetime Christmas movie with Melissa Joan Hart.
I could see you playing
and do
her sister.
some type of like heart to heart. You know what I mean? Like, because people be like, "Are you guys related just because of the last name?" I want to be in a terrible fucking movie. Last year she was
feel like
in
that
one
can happen.
that was about a nutcracker coming to life and her falling in love with him, and it was called A Very Nutty Christmas. And I made
my
Chip
God.
watch it on Christmas Day. So I want to be in like an epically bad Hallmark
Well, you
movie.
know how that happens is you have to write it
I know.
and sell it to Lifetime and then
But I feel
star
like you
in it.
could
Okay.
easily do
we
that.
could like
Yeah.
turd that out at Sweet Greens after this. Like,
Totally could. 100%. Just eat between the quinoa salad and the yeah,
Absolutely.
you'll just be good. You just get that shit done, send it on the way, all in 1 hour. I
on a
guarantee it.
napkin.
Oh, I could see you playing her sister
Thanks.
for sure.
So I wanted to
Melissa
say it
Joan
on
Hart.
Brittany's podcast so more people will say
Yes.
Because
Keep
she's been
getting
telling
the
our
word out.
audience, and they are sick of hearing it. They're like, "We've done all we can. We tweeted at her."
Take
That's
a
all.
fucking acting class.
If
Not
anyone
a
knows
petition.
Melissa Joan Hart who's listening to this, hit her up and say,
huge fan.
We have
Mamrie
to.
Hart and her need to get together.
It would be great.
And a movie about sisters called Heart to Heart.
Yes.
That could be cute.
Yeah,
Thank
you can
you.
see the poster.
I could
in
too,
your head.
yeah. And you guys look very similar, kind of.
I've never heard that ever.
I want
The blue eyes, maybe.
she'll
That's all
dye
I'm
her-
seeing.
we're both
You're both
Caucasians.
Caucasians with blue eyes
She
and
can dye
actresses.
her hair red for it.
Yes, absolutely.
I
Where
know,
is
it's so
she now?
dramatic.
What is she doing? Do we know? Clarissa Explains It All is my.
Oh, the best.
I love
like,
it.
That's a. Like I just grew up on that.
It was the greatest. She was so weird and great. The
Wait,
early
didn't they
Nickelodeon.
bring Sabrina the Teenage Witch back?
Yeah, but it's like a scary one.
Oh,
Oh,
is she in it?
It's like on CW. It's like they Riverdaled it.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's like the girl from something.
Sabrina.
Yeah.
Isn't it on Netflix too? Shernan
Oh, is it?
Kipna or whatever.
Yeah,
her
I
name
didn't know if it
Something
was
like
CW
that,
I
yeah.
met
or
her.
that.
She's cool. That's so weird. I met her at Coachella. I was like, you look familiar. It's one of those things. You look familiar. Do I know you? And she's
Right.
on a fucking show. I'm like,
You're like,
oh, yeah, that's
you're a
right. I
celebrity.
watched you. You're Sabrina. Okay.
I did that once to
That's
Claire
embarrassing.
Danes on the subway.
Did you really?
I made eye contact with her and I went, "Oh hey, Claire Danes." Like I so thought
'Cause
she
you
was
thought
a
you were
friend
just
of
a
mine
friend,
or like
yeah.
a regular at the bar I worked at
and
or
then it
something.
processes, and you're like, oh fuck, god
Oh.
damn it. I know that's happened to me a lot too. It's so embarrassing.
Oh my God, Nina is just
Just a little
fully.
croissant.
I bore her.
She's like, guys, not enough drug stories.
She's so over my life. Though she does this every episode, no matter how intriguing the story is. She just goes to sleep.
I don't. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, this is so soft. This
It's like
tablecloth.
perfect.
Get
It's
it.
like a big bed for her to relax on. I love it.
So what's the wildest story that's been told on this? We're promoting your archives.
The wildest story.
Or how often do people tell stories and retroactively are like, you can't air that?
Yeah, that's
you
a
know
good
what? We've
one.
never had that. We share everything.
cool.
I mean, my husband's told some crazy stories on here, which is insane because he's had a crazy life.
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly told a story about a girl who came over his house, begged him to fuck her in the ass, and then he fucked her in the ass, and he smelled something weird, and then he went to the shower, and when he went back into the room, he saw her throw something really quickly, and then they got back in bed and went to sleep that night, and then the next morning she was gone. And he smelled something really bad in his room, and he was like, what the fuck? And you like already kind of know where this is going, right? So he smells something really bad, and he's looking around, and he's like, what the fuck is that smell coming from? And he's searching his whole room, and it's just fucking nasty. And then he finds a backpack in the corner, and he opens it up, and there's a fucking turd in it. So she shit in the bed after he fucked her in the ass and threw the turd in a backpack and then threw it in the corner.
Oh my God. I mean,
Who does that? I need you guys to top that right now, by the way.
Don't fuck your fans.
I got no turd in the backpack stories. Oh my God.
Intense, right?
That's a lot. I will
There's
say,
so many levels.
Did you guys ever do edibles or try ayahuasca or
I've
anything
never
like
done
that?
ayahuasca, just like mushrooms and.
How does
Yeah.
that make you feel? Do you trip out or do you
I
like
haven't
it?
done mushrooms in forever, but I have to cross buzz it because I'm too in my head.
What
so,
does that mean?
I mean, I have a
cross-buzz?
backpack with vodka in it.
Yeah.
Because
So-
I'm like, if I start to freak out, I can just
calm
get
you down a little
wasted
bit.
and black out.
Wow. I
It's
didn't know
my,
that was like
I
a...
like
But
break
anyone
this
that's
glass.
curious about doing mushrooms, don't take that as a factual
No.
thing that will happen.
No,
Oh my
Grace
God.
loves it and is good in nature and things.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I feel like I get way too paranoid. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah, it's a weird. I can't do it. Like I have friends that have like done it in New York and walked around the city, and I'm like, you couldn't pay me enough to do that. Like I need to be with like one person that I trust in a place that's like sequestered off and like
peaceful.
safe, and I know that I can go and be by myself or like be outside at any point. I can't do the like, let's just walk around and see what happens.
What does it feel like? Like if you had to
Mushrooms?
describe it, yeah.
It feels like you're in like a dream state. Like it's hard to like describe. It's just very visually stimulating.
for
But
me,
you don't-
I
yeah.
turn into like everything becomes a little, like in the movie The Beach when things become a video game.
Yeah.
It becomes
Yeah.
like that to me. Like I only did it a handful of times in my early 20s, but my friends would call me the captain. Because like once it hit at a certain place, I'd like march in place and be like, "Well, we need an adventure."
Oh my
So
God.
I become like
Yeah.
it's our mission to get to the other side of the
They were
house.
like, all right, no more mushroom. They're like, it's weird. We just gave her regular mushrooms from Ralph's and she's still
Yeah,
freaking out.
exactly.
She is
That's
going for it.
crazy. I'm too scared to try any of that stuff,
It's,
you know?
it's scary, and you I think have to go because I think we're really similar. I get very paranoid. Like if I smoke in front of like a group of people that I don't know, I'm like I have to go home now.
Yeah.
I know I'll be fine, but
Yeah.
I'm too now worked up in my head that I
Yeah.
might be weird to these people,
Yes.
and so my anxiety is now conquering any like goodness that this drug would give me right now.
Like you could be sitting there
Right.
totally normal, but
Yeah.
you think your face is like...
And I'm like, right, exactly. I stopped smoking weed for a long time.
You're like, fuck, was my face just doing this?
Yeah.
Like,
I stopped smoking for a long time, like after the first few years in New York, is because I would smoke with a group of friends that I trust and love, but I would constantly think I was pissing my pants. Constantly. And so we'd all be sitting around in a circle, like telling stories and jokes, and I'd have to like touch my pants every now and then just to check
you're
to
like,
make
it feels
sure.
warm. Did I pee?
I constantly, and then I was like, this is not fun for me
Aren't
because
our brains weird?
Yeah.
because I conditioned myself to now when I smoke, I'm already worried that that's going to be my thought and my physical like.
But you've
problem.
never pissed your pants.
No, never. But it's
you're
just a
just scared.
sensation. I feel like it just heightens like what's the worst thing that could happen right now
Peeing
to
your
embarrass
pants.
myself. And so yeah, my brain just hyper focuses on that.
You're going to pee yourself.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So now it's way better, but I think it was like also just the social anxiety of being
yeah.
around a bunch of people that were so comfortable with it.
Well, I don't understand folks that can get stoned and be on stage.
Oh, I had
yeah.
to do the High Diary show.
I've said no
I
to
did
that.
but I didn't do it high.
See, I've said no to that and to Doug Benson, like all
yeah,
of those
Doug Benson's
shows.
always want to come do that. I'm like, I
me.
can't.
excuse me, that weed was like Snoop Dogg's weed. Like,
wait, so you performed stoned?
15 minutes, and I was high as a fucking kite.
That is a nightmare to me.
Have you seen any video? Like,
no, but they did. I did great.
Did people laugh? Okay,
Yeah,
great.
I did great.
Then that's awesome.
But I don't remember it. But
Yeah.
people were laughing so hard, and I think it was because I was so fucked up. Like, they were like, "This girl's gonna fall off the stage and die." Like, because I don't do any drugs. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm already fucking psychotic. So like, I try not to push the boundary. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to do drugs to be crazy. I'm already crazy. And so I get to the show, and I was like, "This is like really mellow weed, right?" And Lindsay, who runs the show, she's like, "Yeah, totally." It's like
but Lindsay's a stoner.
She's a fucking stoner. So ever
I would
let a fucking stoner tell you that the weed's mellow, because that for them is like mellow weed for them is like totally different.
It's like a Jolly Rancher.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, I'll just get up there. She rolls me a fatty, like a fat fucking blunt, like a fucking so thick, like a slug. And she's like, yeah, dude, I'll just leave it on the podium and you can just puff that thing through the whole thing.
This
and I
is
was
my
like,
living nightmare.
No.
I was like, cool, dude. Yeah, like I'm down, right? Like I'm trying to be cool, fit in, because everyone else did it. So I was like, oh, I can fucking do this.
Yeah, like
you know?
self-imposed peer pressure.
Yeah. Like you see everyone else rocking it, and you're like, I'm not trying to be like a pussy. I'm not scared, you know. So I go up there and I fucking see this fatty, and I'm like, and it smelled strong. So I was like,
oh no.
And then I just lit it, and I took a fucking huge.
It's always
Huge
great when
hit.
you're exhaling and thinking this is a big mistake.
I
This was a big
want it
mistake.
out of
it's
me.
still exhaling.
Immediately.
It's still coming out of my mouth. What the fuck?
Immediately, I was like, that was way too big of a hit, and it hit me in like 3 seconds. I was like, boom, I'm fucking stoned, and then I just had to, and then for some reason, you just can't. Yeah, I couldn't break the cycle. Like I was holding it, and it was like awkward to put it down.
I bet you looked cool as hell, though.
I think they sent me some pictures. I looked like I fucking was stoned for sure. I was just like, it was like every photo of Janis Joplin ever, just
just a little
eyes
Mr.
not
Burns.
open. It was for real, totally Mr. Burns. My chin, totally. Like I remember I was just so fucked up, and everyone was laughing so hard, and I just remember being like, hey, everyone's faces, but I was like,
no, and they turn into clowns.
They get scary.
Yep.
But it was very powerful weed.
Yeah.
Like very powerful.
I could not do it.
I can't imagine doing mushrooms or ayahuasca or any of that because
Ayahuasca,
That's a
forget
whole
it.
different category.
Forget it. I
it's
cannot.
scary,
No.
right?
No, and it's like I don't need any revelations.
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah, every day's a
I don't
revelation.
need to
Good.
shit my pants in front of a group of people.
Right.
Which is what happens.
Yeah, they're like, you throw up, you shit yourself.
Constantly.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
they're like, I saw the light. I'm like, yeah, maybe because you shit your fucking brains
right,
out.
you're
went to a
dehydrated.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Been in the Amazon for 4 days.
And there was no Powerade around. You just fucking,
Right.
of course you saw the light.
Oh my god.
And then there's kids dying doing it too.
Ayahuasca?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
There's
that.
like, there's like a couple. I've seen a couple reports of that. Like some random kids going on the, the shaman.
Yeah.
They sell it as like a
journey.
shaman journey.
Yeah.
And you go to God knows where in the middle of a rainforest where there's no help, and
Right.
these kids. They do it, and
They don't
some
know
of
their
them
limits,
fucking die because
That's
they just
crazy.
don't. There's
Oof.
been a couple things of that.
No,
also
there's
the vaping
there's
too.
no like revelation, clear moment vision that is worth
Nothing.
traveling to a place
you're
without
you're
plumbing.
gonna die one day and get to experience that. Don't worry. Like
Yeah.
that's what your brain releases
I'm good.
DMT, and that'll happen before you die, and you'll get all the ayahuasca experience you need.
Yeah.
You need
I'd
then.
rather have like one weed gummy and
Yeah.
freak out watching Planet Earth. Which is what we do.
Which happens too often.
The last time I got too stoned and watched it, there was the dolphin part, which I recommend rewatching.
I love
Stoned.
Planet Earth. Tommy watches that with me.
They just sound like farts.
Dude,
It sounds
when
like
they when they
underwater
talk to
farts.
each other, just
Yeah,
like,
it's so
get stoned and watch the dolphin part of Planet Earth.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
It
totally.
really is. It's impossible
Oh my-
to unhear it that way. Yeah.
that's amazing.
It's not just a symphony of wet farts back and forth, and it's so. It is the funniest thing that
It
you'll ever
kills
watch.
me. Yeah, it was that same time we got stoned. I got stoned to watch Planet Earth that like the farts happened, and then it was like the mating dances of birds.
Oh, those are weird. The ones where they're like going all crazy and shit, and then the bitch is not improved by the dance, and she's like, "No, I don't want to fuck that bird. His dance wasn't good enough."
And she's matronly.
Yeah.
Like I watched it and I was like, all these birds are gay.
Yeah. I mean, who dances to get
Like
a girl?
this is Drag Race.
Yeah.
In the
They are.
rainforest.
Yes.
They did a reveal.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's not a skirt, that's my neck.
Watch what this can do, and it inflates to make a whole.
It was crazy. Guys, you have to watch this Planet Earth on Netflix. If you have Netflix or just steal your neighbor's password, it's amazing. It's actually so good. You guys are amazing. This has been so fun for being here. I love you guys. We need to all smoke weed and have an anxiety attack together. It'd be great.
Yeah, that's
we can have a mutual panic attack. It'll be great. And Nina loves you, clearly.
I mean, this regal beast. I can't get over it. She needs to be on some type of currency.
Right?
I know.
Yes.
Like, or on a box of something. Like, on like a box of like, you know, like pedigree.
Milk bones.
Like, I tried. She's 100,000 followers on Instagram. I'm like, give her a job, guys.
How does she not have
Truly.
brand deals out the butt?
She should have so many brand deals,
Right?
but you know, it is what it is. There's a lot of dogs, a lot of cute dogs. It's just as hard in the dog world as it is in the
Truly,
human world.
She's like, I relate to all of your struggles for success.
Nina,
Both
we're
of us
gonna
just
get
fucking
you.
trying to get auditions, just failing miserably.
Meanwhile, Nina has an Audible deal.
Yeah,
Like,
watch Nina
can't even
actually
talk.
book a show before I do. They're like, they call me. I think it's for me. They're like, we actually want to book your dog.
We have an offer only.
Yeah.
She
Take
doesn't have
it.
to audition.
Stage mom.
Yeah, I love that. Well, guys, where can everybody follow you? I already know, so just go ahead and plug it.
Yeah, well, we have a podcast together
Yes.
called This Might Get Weird. Comes out every Wednesday. It's me and Grace just shooting the shit and catching up and saying what weird adventures we got into that week. Super fun. And then you can find me at Mametown on socials.
And I'm at Grace Helbig on all the socials.
And you guys know them already, and I will be tagging them and plugging them. And thank you so much, everyone who's been listening and leaving great reviews. And I read all of them, even the ones that are hurtful. And I love it. Even the hate, I'm happy to have you here. Even if you're here to hate me, it's so good.
At least you're here.
At least you're here. And everyone's been for the most part, really nice. And make sure to stay tuned next week on Worst First.
Thank you guys so much. It was fucking awesome.